I like how, sometimes you start a conversation and you have an idea of where it's going to go. Now, I like how you have sort of like turned a little bit the script into, but when we talk about governance, without talking about the tools the youth need, as the governed to participate in governance in whatever sphere or in whatever area. So then I'll take back to what you said, Favor, earlier about if we go back to the Bible, how God would choose young people to do certain things or to lead certain areas, to take people from one place to the next, or to lead in different areas and take people from one place of understanding to, saying, a leveled up place of understanding. If we take our government, what would be one thing you'd say government must do to take now? Because the 54 years have passed, right? What must government do to take where youth are now in their leadership role, in participating in governance role, to take them up to a different level? What do you think government must do?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. And before I can answer that, I would like us to define, first of all, what is government and what is governance and what are the governed, because without that understanding,
yes,
our conversation would go anywhere.
Definitely.
So the word government originally comes from the Greek verb meaning to pilot a ship.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And it's a quite fitting derivation, because when we talk about the government, we really are talking about the people who drive or steer the ship of the country or the economy. So already I've mentioned ship and to drive,
yes,
meaning we are going somewhere. I like it that you mentioned the point to move from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So we are the governed, we are in the ship, we are just the passengers, and we are being driven to a certain destination.
Yes.
So let's get to these people who drive us to this certain destination. So when we move from this point to point B, from this level to another level, from this Botswana to another Botswana,
yes,
that is what I call governance, when we move from one place to another.
So it's the process of being moved and participating in the move from one place
to another. Yes.
Okay.
So without movement, there really is no governance. And yeah, back to the question, what could government do to involve the youth in leadership?
Yeah.
The government, the people driving the ship, must know that we live in an evolving world. The world is changing. We have so many atrocities, whether you talk about poverty, unemployment, corruption. The youth are the world's only hope left. They are the only people who can really solve these problems.
Yeah.
So how can the government engage the youth in solving these problems? I'll say it starts in the societies. Government should outreach to young people, involve them in participating in trying to solve real life challenges. Because most of the young people don't think they matter. But the fact is that they do matter, because they are tomorrow's leaders. So they have to be educated as early as now. Yeah. So that when they reach that stage of maturity, when they are now adults, they really know what they have to do. Yes.
Okay, Ismail, please add to that. Or if you I'm sure you're burning with something. Please add to that, subtract, multiply. Please.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna add and multiply and not subtract.
Yeah.
So when I defined, I think as Favor said, it was a good job that he did by saying that we need to explain government, governance, and the governed before we go into what the government can do.
Yes.
And I would simply define the government figuratively. I think this is an effective way of defining it. I would say that the government is a blanket covering an occupant on a cold winter's morning. And now, when I look at the blanket covering the person on a cold winter's morning, I would say that the covering provides three things when it comes to my mind. One being warmth, the second one being comfort, and lastly, there's sort of a sensation of safety, and you're protected under that blanket.
Yes.
And similarly, in a live setup, in governance, the government basically, they are supposed to provide those three things for us. And honestly, if us as the people, the youth, have those three things: safety, comfort, and warmth,
Yeah.
we'll be nurtured. We'll be happy. There's no reason not to be happy if we have those three things. But now we need to look at how do we gain those three things. And I think that it's important for the youth to step in and engage. But as I said previously, to do that, we need to sort of we need to be engaged first. You can't just be in the back, come forward without any significant thing happening. Therefore, we need to have a significant change in society. So, as your question was stating, how should the government introduce more youth leadership, engaging in the youth? And I would say that me being a part of the youth, I wouldn't prefer being in a lecture a whole day or something. So I think that more fun ways to engage should be considered, such as maybe having runs, having charity events, things like that. But not only for the point of just getting out, but also for the point of engaging, knowing your worth in a friendly manner to the youth. That's what I think is very important, because if we look at it also on a global scale, there's 1.2 billion people, youth especially, and if we think about it, that's approximately 1 in every 6 person on this globe is a youth. So we need to think to ourselves, what are we doing? What is the government doing to empower the youth? And that's very important.